I mean, in other words, you have these medical topics like, you know, stem cell research, you have abortion, all these things. You're just going to have to put them in there. Even if you say, you know, 有关堕胎的规定，立法单位来确定. That you could do that too. Just have the legislators decide. But you've got to have it in there so that people, you know what's going to be the rule about that. Otherwise, people are always wondering. You know, a lot of these constitutions you have some 负面谈话 or some all the other rights not mentioned in the Constitution belong to the people, you know. But 这种空话其实几百年下来没什么效果。You never get anywhere with that, you know. 你请律师1个小时多少？你告他去搞这个说，我认为我有什么什么 right，and maybe 法官认为说你没有这个 right，你说宪法说其他的 right 没有明确的去写，就是我有的，and you get into this big argument and then you get nowhere, you know. So you have to spell all these things out, and then you have to have some procedure for adding new things in. You know, all this has to be very spelled out, very flexible. I think the California Constitution is quite long. Yeah, but I don't know what you could do if you don't put all these things in there. It's just 永远的吵架. You know, you can't get anywhere, because this has come back to the United States Constitution. If you go to the United States Constitution, and if you ask someone and say, well, what does it say about 堕胎? What does it say about abortion? And of course it says nothing. But the 大法官他必须从那个精神和以前什么有关人性尊严、有关医疗、所以他必须用这个所有的判决来提出这个宪法对这样的一个生命有什么样的看法。That's their job. They have to do something. They come up with an answer. And they say, I believe this is the meaning. You know, that's a big job. That's a big job. But I mean, that's what they have to do. But for a 旧宪法, I think, or for a 海外领土宪法, I think you have to spell it out pretty clearly.
May I interrupt? I still stay with my first question, because to me, or to the people of Taiwan, it's very important. The first question asks, what is the attitude from the Uncle Sam? So this is also related with that kind of the question. Now, let me repeat again. By your opinion, is there any possibility or the trend that Uncle Sam is going to appoint somebody to be the High Commissioner over Taiwan? Because this kind of the decision will make the issue very clear. Uncle Sam is going to step into the Taiwan questions. If that is no answer, or wait for a moment, if that kind of things, then the people on Taiwan, they already have a question. Is that real or that's fake? So by your opinion, is that any possibility Uncle Sam is going to do that? Thank you.
Well, I think, you know, for any of these places where you had the military occupation, just like Iraq, they also had a high commissioner. Cuba had a high commissioner. Harry Truman said his idea, what he saw in the Constitution was, one thing he saw in the Constitution was civilian control of the military, okay? So you have Truman, who's a civilian, right? It's a Fei Junren, and he's the 总司令, you know, he's in charge of the military. So that's the rule. You have the civilian in charge of the military. So you have the 美国军事政府 in a well, like Cuba. You have the 美国军事政府, and then you had the civilian, the Fei Junren, who is the high commissioner, and then he's coordinating with the 军事政府 for the administration of Cuba. So you would think that, of course, in Taiwan, this would also happen. But I mean, the first step is first to establish the local physical presence of the 美国军事政府 is first to establish this presence first. And then after that's established, at some point, they want to bring in some civilian high commissioner. This would be normal practice. They had a civilian high commissioner in Berlin, occupied Berlin. They always have a high commissioner. But it's a 美国公民 and then not a军人, 非军人. So, I mean, I think what we would hope for would be that the Taiwanese people could have some say in who this person would be. I always tell Roger, Dr. Lin, because he talks to a lot of these government officials, I said, 我们认为你在台协会的那些人，因为你没有把台湾地位讲清楚，所以其实你都是在欺负台湾人嘛。所以你说要找一个这个人出来做总督，我觉得很多人会反对。你为什么不站起来主张台湾人的权利嘛？你一直坐在那里不动啊，所以我说，我觉得这些人不适合。And didn't you say a few years ago, Mr. Burkhardt came to San Francisco or something? You had some breakfast. You asked him about the San Francisco Peace Treaty. 一问三不知 and 回去也没有答复。I mean, this is their attitude. You're going to appoint Mr. Raymond Burkhardt as High Commissioner? I'd say throw tomatoes. I mean, he's not helping to advance the cause of Taiwanese rights. So I think my hope would be that the Taiwanese people could have some say in who's appointed. I think that would be the key point. Okay, but hopefully, if the U.S. Military can at some point make their presence known. According to what we know, the U.S. military planes are already flying into CCK. 我们所知道的，美军那个飞机经常飞到 CCK, but the Taiwan 报纸没有登这个消息。Okay.
What is CCK?
青抓岗，
台中的清泉岗。
台中。
不知啦。
CCK.
Not me.
台中。
台中清泉岗。
Okay. Over here.
Well, we just